Hello, my name is Dante, one of your college captains. Today we'll be sharing your fellow students' stories to commemorate Refugee Week. These stories will remain anonymous and will be about their experiences as refugees.
Hi, my name is Kara Ashrafani and this is my story. I was born in Iraq and I moved to Iran when I was 3, and I travelled to Australia when I was 6 years old. And the most toughest thing about living in Australia is people making fun of your religion, and the best thing is the city that I'm from.
Before this person came to Australia, they were born and raised in New Zealand. This person struggled with finance and the expenses it took for living requirements. They also had less opportunities over there to get support or find a stable income. Coming to Australia really changed their life. They received educational support and had more opportunities to pursue what they wanted to. And they received financial support to afford better living conditions. A message they'd like to share is to keep studying and also keep to your roots. And last thing, they love the level of education here and they love seeing more of their family members.
This person's story began when they were born in Tanzania and they had lived at a refugee camp for a period of time. When they had left their homeland and arrived in Australia, their close and extended family didn't quite get along, so that made their transition very difficult. When in Australia, their family is safe. They have more opportunities, access to better doctors, they're happier, and there's more than enough food to go around. For this person, their words of advice are, life will get hard, the world is not perfect, just don't give up.
The person behind the story was born in Burundi and lived in Kenya before coming to Australia. The challenge that they have faced being a refugee before and after coming to Australia is the education and the challenging work we must do. Australia has changed their life in education and finance. The message that they would like to pass to the community during Refugee Week, they would like to say to be friendly and help each other. One thing they like about Australia and one thing that they could change is I don't like how the students treat the teachers, but they don't know their goals and their dream.
Before moving to Australia, they lived in Burundi for a large part of their childhood. Due to their age while being there, they were only aware of the problems that their parents faced before moving them to Australia. However, once they arrived in Australia, the biggest problem that they faced was the racism that some people had towards their culture. However, the freedoms that Australia has given them allow them to do many things which they were unable to do back in Burundi, such as working and driving. To any members of the community, especially new refugees to Australia, they would like to say to never give up and keep moving forward regardless of what happens. While Australia has given them many more freedoms than they had in Burundi, they would still like to see some improvement in this area and see an increase in the overall freedom of the country.
Flowers Among Thorns, a story based on true events about how two sisters and how they never gave up on hope. The younger sister, Dile, is 8 years old when this story took place. She has an older sister, she's 12. Her name is Sylvia, but everyone just calls her Feto. Their mother died 4 years before the war, and their father and brothers were taken by the Greeks to concentration camps where they were executed. Sylvia and Dile were rounded up and taken from their hometown, Chamoria, Albania, and were put into a predominantly women part of a camp. Some women in the camp were put on the trade market and sold for supplies and weaponry. The sisters stuck together even though they were homeless and orphaned. They never lost hope and didn't dare give in. A few months went by in the camp and the government decided to let some of the women and children go. Sylvia and Dile were a part of the captives that got set free. But in Australia, they faced a different kind of struggle. They didn't understand English. At the age of 18, Sylvia married an Albanian man, and Dile, at the age of 16, married an Albanian man as well. Both husbands spoke and understood English. The sisters slowly grew old together and never gave up on hope. That's why they made it.
The person behind the story was born in Congo. They lived in Tanzania and Malawi before coming to Australia. The challenges they faced was finding food, but now that they are in Australia, it's easier to have food. Australia changed their life by providing better education. The message they want to give is never give up. They like about Australia is that the education is better and they want to change racism in Australia.
The person behind this story was born in Congo and they have lived in Uganda and Kenya. Some challenges that they have faced being a refugee before and after coming to Australia is the language barrier and racism. Australia has changed their life in allowing them to be able to choose what they want to study. A message they would like to pass on to the community during Refugee Week is to keep on pushing and be happy. One thing they like about Australia is how opportunities are accessible to everyone and they wouldn't change anything.
The person behind this story said, "I was born in Burundi, then moved to Kenya at a young age before coming to Australia. The challenges I faced before coming to Australia were issues like financial instability and insecurity due to living with fear, also not having my voice because my voice recognized because I was a person from the other country, living in a country that's not mine and I'm not part of the citizen. Okay, Australia has given me a lot of opportunities. I am now happy that I got the chance to do what I want to do and focus on my career in the future. Yes, the message I would like to pass during Refugee Week is that refugees has overcame a lot of challenges during their journey of determination, strength, adapting to different types of life, and showing their hope. I like how we get a lot of chances in Australia, or choices, when it comes to work, education, and healthcare. However, I would like to ask the citizens of Australia to stop making assumptions that we are not capable of doing what we can do. Thank you.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Refugee Week ceremony. On behalf of our multicultural liaison officers, our multicultural student leaders, our multicultural student voices, and especially our students and community members who identify themselves as refugees. Today, I would like to thank you all for taking a part of the refugees' wounds healing. Thank you for acknowledging their journey, for feeling their suffering, for understanding their hopes, and for celebrating their success. Thank you for being with us today.